Surveillance cameras were rolling when a burglar made a crashing entrance into a Montgomery County store. Hear from the frustrated business owner.
A drone crash landed on top of a downtown Lexington building, prompting concern for more education regarding the unmanned aircrafts.
A devastated community coming together tonight to honor a television reporter and photographer who were shot to death on the air.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. A burglar went to some extreme measures to steal from a central Kentucky business. And as you're about to see, it was all caught on surveillance video.
The burglar used a dumpster attached to a car to crash into a gun store in Montgomery County. The video then shows him getting out of the car and stealing guns. New tonight, Garrett Weimer talks to the store's owner. It's our top story at 11.
Never underestimate a thief.
Scratch marks on the parking lot pavement outside Walter's Arms tell the story.
I would have never thought of using the dumpster to use it as a battering ram through the front door.
But it's the kind of thing you almost have to see to believe.
There's your dumpster.
Surveillance video from inside the shop shows a driver slamming into the front doors before he backs up and hits them again. Then the man gets out, crawling through the busted glass and gates into the store. 26 seconds later, he walked back out, taking 2 guns with him. Store owner Bruce Walters says it could have been much worse than that.
I am amazed that this gentleman took 2 cheaper handguns when there is way more expensive guns in this store that would have been well worth the money. If I'm going to go through the trouble and know that I might get caught and I might be going to jail, let's make it worth our time.
Walters says the 2 guns are worth about $850 total, but the damage to the building was several thousand. Still, Walters says through this, he's learned a priceless lesson.
So now I'll back up and I'll, secure the building even more than what it was and make it harder for the next one. He outsmarted us and he used a dumpster. This time. There won't be a next time with that one.
In Mount Sterling, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Mount Sterling police say the car the suspect used to bust through the doors, a tan 2011 Chevy Suburban, was stolen on Wednesday in Owensville. Police have not made any arrests.
Tonight, it looks like the legal battle over marriage licenses in Rowan County will be heading to the U.S. Supreme Court. Yesterday, a federal appeals court upheld a judge's order that told Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis to issue marriage licenses. But when some couples showed up for licenses today, her office turned them away. Davis stopped issuing marriage licenses after the U.S. Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. She cited her religious beliefs as the reason. But couples trying to get marriage licenses in Rowan County say they're tired of waiting.
There's no reason for her to be using her religious beliefs and elected official job to be keeping people from their constitutional rights.
Davis's office claims the judge's order is still delayed until August 31st. Her attorneys say they will file an emergency petition with the U.S. Supreme Court to extend the delay.
A U.S. Air Force captain from Lexington is being remembered as a hard worker and a born leader. The military says 27-year-old Captain Matthew Rowland was shot and killed earlier this week at a vehicle checkpoint in Afghanistan. He graduated from Lexington Catholic High School in 2006 and from the Air Force Academy 4 years later. Captain Rowland's teachers say he had always planned to go into the military.
There's a certain kind of kid that wants to. He was really a quiet kid. But there was a passion in him, and you knew that he was going to do something special, and that he wanted to be important and do something great.
Governor Beshear has ordered flags to be lowered at half-staff on the day of Captain Rowland's burial. Funeral arrangements are still pending.
Some people say drones are a growing concern around this country and right here in Lexington. As we first told you here at 6, a drone crash landed on top of the Fifth Third building downtown. Workers there say the person operating it asked security if he could go on the roof to retrieve it. He was told no. Drone experts say that events like this show a need for better education about the devices. Monique Blair has the story new at 11.
And 10 years from now, we'll be at the point where cell phones are today.
Chris Stiles is the president of Unmanned Services, Inc., a company that flies drones for commercial purposes. There are 3 categories of drone users: civil, commercial, and recreational, or hobbyist.
Most hobbyists, they could buy one on Amazon, and 2 days later it's at their doorstep. They pull it out of the box and they could throw it up and fly it immediately. But, you know, a lot of them, they crash it within 5 minutes, or they crash it after 2 or 3 flights.
Stiles says there are virtually new uses for drones every day, but he says it's very important for the operator to know the rules and safety precautions before operating one.
You know, the FAA has so many regulations that affect manned aircraft. I mean, the books are really thick, you know, the aviation regulations. So then, some of them still apply to us. We still have to know and fly according to that. And then some things we're exempt from. Some things where there's stricter mandates put on us. So it's figuring out and knowing all of the things. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of knowledge.
And now, with more drones in the air than ever before, Urban County Council member Richard Maloney is pushing for more education of drone use.
There's a lot of unanswered questions out there with these drones, so we just got to be sure we get on the right page and educate the public.
In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
The basic guidelines from the FAA for people flying drones is to fly them under 400 feet, stay at least 3 miles from airports, and do not fly in a manner that could put people or property at harm.
It is expected to be another cooler than normal night as the fall-like weather sticks around. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at the forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Amber. Sam, seeing those temperatures out there this evening that are basically on par for where we've been over the past several evenings. Right now, many areas are right at or a little below what we were talking about at this same point last night across much of central and eastern Kentucky. Actual thermometers are into the upper 50s and low 60s. Cool spot in Mount Sterling already down, believe it or not, to 55 degrees. Everybody else into the low 60s. Nothing showing up on Defender. It has been awfully calm and quiet. Nice little vacation week for Defender. Some high clouds beginning to blow on in from the northwest. That's on the leading edge of a little bit of milder air. As we roll into your Friday, forecast up and at 'em tomorrow morning with a temperature around 55 degrees. As we go into your lunchtime hour, low 70s. By the end of the day, those readings will be back into the upper 70s and may flirt with 80 into parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky. Still, though, a very nice day overall across our entire region. As we look ahead toward the weekend, guys, thunder threat is back into the picture. Hour by hour forecast even has some changes in it from what we were showing you at 6 o'clock this evening. We'll run those down together when I come back here in about 10 minutes.
Chris, thank you. Tonight, vigils were held in Roanoke, Virginia to honor the reporter and photographer murdered on live television yesterday.
And this comes as the parents of victim Allison Parker are pleading for something to be done to end gun violence. Craig Boswell has the latest.
Members of the Roanoke, Virginia community came together at WDBJ for a Stop the Violence rally Thursday night. The station's morning news crew, reporter Allison Parker and cameraman Adam Ward, were gunned down on live TV Wednesday.
This is a terrible thing. It just hits you with a ton of bricks that it's somebody right here in your hometown that's been struck down by gun violence.
Parker's parents want their daughter to be remembered as the catalyst that helped stop gun violence in the U.S.
That's our hope and something that we will work for to the end of our days.
Barbara and Andy say they will now advocate for tougher gun laws and need President Obama's help.
You're at the end of your term. You've got nothing to lose. And I don't want to see another Allison and Adam die like this because nothing gets done. And I challenge you to join me.
Police are done with the investigation here at the spot where Parker and Ward were ambushed. A former WDBJ employee shot them during an interview. Police say Vester Flanagan legally bought 2 pistols from this gun shop. Police searched his car and recovered a Glock pistol and ammunition, a briefcase with 3 license plates, a wig, and a black hat. Also inside, a to-do list. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Moneta, Virginia.
The station had fired Flanagan back in 2013 for behavioral issues. He filed a discrimination lawsuit against the station, but a judge dismissed it.
Lexington Mayor Jim Gray has named a new council member for the city's 12th district. The mayor appointed businessman Russ Hensley to fill the seat. He takes over for Ed Lane, who died earlier this month. Hensley is part owner and co-founder of Hensley Elam, an information technology services company. He has never held a political office before.
Lexington's taking care of my family and the businesses, and you know we've always tried to take care of the businesses. This is just another way for me to help return that back to the community and look out for the economic development of Lexington.
Hensley will serve the remaining 16 months of Lane's term. He says he plans to run for a full term next year. A Woodford County native and prominent leader in the Black Lives Matter movement is speaking out again about accusations that he lied about being black. Earlier this month, conservative bloggers claimed that Sean King lied about being biracial to qualify for a scholarship to attend an historically black college. King says he is biracial. He says his mother had an affair with a black man. In an interview with GQ magazine, King says he's felt less safe since the accusations came out. He also says he's bought an extra gun for his house and installed cameras there. King also says his mother has gone to stay with other family members because so many people have showed up to her house. Tonight, a 14-year-old Eastern Kentucky boy faces charges for the shooting death of his grandfather.
The shooting happened last night at a home in Harlan County. State police say the victim, 56-year-old Teddy Jackson, was dead when they arrived at the home. They've charged the teenager with reckless homicide, evidence tampering, and wanton endangerment.
It was determined that the 14-year-old grandson was mishandling the shotgun, which caused the weapon to fire, striking the victim, which fatally wounded him.
Police say Jackson was holding a 5-year-old child in his lap at the time, but the child was not injured. New tonight, police in Whitley County are looking for a man who robbed a gas station. It happened within the last couple of hours at a gas station just off of I-75, exit 15. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office says the man walked in, showed a weapon, and demanded money. He then ran off. No injuries were reported.
New tonight, the family of a missing Louisville man is asking for help finding him. 48-year-old Michael Kimsey hasn't been seen since May 29th. He disappeared from his home not far from the Oldham County line. Kimsey is a UPS pilot and served in the Air Force before joining the company. His family and Louisville police say they can't understand why he disappeared.
We have not slept day or night. You're thinking about him.
Kimsey has a wife and 7-year-old son. His parents have traveled from their home in Tennessee to Louisville to help with the search.
Tonight, parts of Lancaster are under a boil water advisory. Garrett County emergency managers say anyone living in the south and east sides of Lancaster should boil their water until further notice. They say that the advisory was issued because of a water line break in the Baker Street area.
A country music star held a special concert tonight in Lexington.
I can see why they're all talking, looking back at my past.
Justin Moore performed as part of the This Kind of Hero contest, which Dallas Robinson won. Robinson served in the Army and was on the U.S. bobsledding team in the 2014 Winter Olympics. The winner of the contest received a special concert by Moore.
One of the kids that I coach at Lexington Christian Academy, I basically coached her from middle school all the way through high school, nominated me to meet Justin Moore and have a private gathering and little private concert as her hero.
Well, tonight's concert was held just for Robinson and 50 of his closest friends. That's tough to narrow down there, 50 to get in there to see that.
It looks like Justin gave him a great time, too.